Hacking and penetration means identifying and exploiting technical defects and network vulnerabilities with the aim of unauthorized access to the system. Not all hackers are malicious, because a group of hackers work as white hat hackers, as cybersecurity experts, or software engineers and testers in various companies to identify and fix software vulnerabilities. But the black hat hacker pursues subversive goals. And in the meantime, a large group carries the title of gray hat hacker and engages in political activities of black hat companies at different times every year. For example, according to published reports, by the end of 2024, the total damages related to hacking will reach $10 trillion. Meanwhile, in 2019, its total loss is estimated at $2 trillion. Hackers, like everything else, did not develop all at once and evolved over the past decades, along with the advancement of technology, and have reached the artificial intelligence hacking of today. However, hackers are attractive to most people, regardless of how criminal they are. The ability and skill in identifying technical defects and exploiting them definitely requires a lot of knowledge and creativity. It may be said that hackers tickle the anarchist side of people, or even their actions are reminiscent of the story of Robin Hood, stealing from the rich and giving gifts to the poor, and because they have a positive goal, the path and means to achieve it fade, even for a moment, in people's eyes, regardless of whether these assumptions are true or false. In this video, we want to introduce 5 of the most dangerous known hackers in history. Please subscribe our channel and like the video before watching the video. Number 1. Gary McKinnon. Gary McCain, alias Solo, is said to have designed the greatest military computer hack of all time. In a 3-month period from February 2001 to March 2002, he illegally accessed 97 computers belonging to the U.S. Armed Forces and NASA. McKinnon claimed that he only hacked into these computers to research conspiracy theories about UFOs and free energy suppression. But authorities say he deleted a number of critical system files and disabled a network of 2,000 computers for 24 hours, costing the government $700,000. The U.S. government also accuses him of deleting weapons reports at the Earl Naval Weapons Station after the September 11, 2001 attacks, disabling a computer network and thwarting 30 computer attacks. McKinnon, who was of Scottish descent and operated out of Britain, managed to evade the U.S. government until 2005. But finally, he faced the extradition order to this country after an appeal. Then British Prime Minister Theresa May blocked his extradition on the grounds that he was severely ill and that his extradition would not be compatible with human rights. Number 2. Robert Tappan Morris. Robert inherited his computer knowledge from his father, Robert Morris, a computer scientist at Bell Labs, and later the National Security Agency. Morris is known as the creator of the world's first computer worm, considering that all types of viruses in 1988. When Morris was a student at Cornell University, he created the Morris worm and distributed it on the internet. Initially, this program was designed to measure internet space, but there was an error, and it caused every computer to be infected several times, and with each infection, its speed decreased. As a result of this vandalism, more than 6,000 computers became useless. Computers were produced after his creation. It can be said that users are not satisfied with him. In 1989, Robert Tappan Morris was sentenced to 3 years probation, 400 hours of community service, and a $10,050 fine for violating the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act. After his sentence, He founded several companies and even became a professor at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, known as MIT. Number 3. Jonathan James. Jonathan James hacked several companies under the nickname Comrade, meaning comrade, often used by communists to address other people. According to the New York Times, what caught James' attention the most was hacking and breaking into the computers of the U.S. Department of Defense. Also, the fact that James was only 15 years old at the time makes his story even more interesting. In an interview with PC Mag, James admitted that he was deeply inspired by the book, The Cuckoo's Egg. This book details the pursuit of computer hacking in the 1980s. James' hack gave him access to 3,000 government employee messages, usernames, passwords, and other sensitive data. He was finally arrested in 2000 and spent 6 months under house arrest, not even allowed to use a computer for entertainment. But a minor violation caused him to spend 6 months in the prison of the Youth Correctional Center and become the youngest person to go to prison for violating cyber laws. Also, James was able to hack into NASA's network and download a lot of source code worth $1, 7 cents million at that time, and through that, he exposed the mechanism of the International Space Station. Therefore, NASA had to shut down the network for 3 weeks. He shut himself down while the investigation was completed, losing another $41,000 in the process. After some time in 2007, the ETAJX department store was hacked, and the personal information of many customers was exposed. And despite insufficient evidence, the authorities suspected James and questioned him because of his acquaintance with some other known hackers. Finally, in 2008, Jonathan James committed suicide with a gun at the age of 24, writing in a note, "I have no hope in the justice system." He continued that he is worried about a crime he did not commit. In addition, he wrote the password of the PayPal account and some other user accounts in his note. Number 4. Kevin Poulsen. In 1983, 17-year-old Kevin Poulsen hacked into the Pentagon's ARPANET using the alias Dark Dante. Although he was arrested soon after, the government decided not to prosecute him, who was considered a juvenile at the time, and released him with only a written warning. Poulsen ignored official U.S. hacking activities and continued his hacking. In 1988, he hacked into federal computers and discovered files on ousted Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos. When authorities discovered Poulsen's influence, he went into hiding for a while. Poulsen continued to hack while on the run, hacking into classified government files and leaking classified secrets. According to Poulsen's official website, in 1990, he managed to hack a radio contest and pretend to be contestant number 102, winning a new Porsche and a vacation trip, along with $20,000 in cash. Poulsen was later arrested and banned from using computers for 3 years. Since then, he has become a white hat hacker and journalist, writing about cybersecurity and political social web issues for Wired and the Daily Beast, and his personal blog, Threat Level. In addition, Poulsen works with a team of other prominent hackers on various projects dedicated to social justice and freedom of information. For example, one of his famous projects that he worked on with Adam Swartz and Jim Dolan was the development of the open-source software SecureDrop, originally known as DeadDrop. Eventually, Poulsen left the platform, which allowed reporters and sources to connect to the Freedom of the Press Foundation. Number 5. Albert Gonzalez. Albert Gonzalez, better known as Supanazi, started out as a computer nerd in high school and eventually became active in the criminal organization website Shadow Crew, becoming one of the website's top hackers and administrators. At the age of 22, Gonzalez was arrested in New York for credit card fraud and the theft of millions in credit card account information. He later worked as an informant for the U.S. Secret Service to escape prison and eventually helped identify several members of the Shadow Crew. However, while Gonzalez was paid as an informant, he continued his criminal activities. He and a group of accomplices managed to steal the payment information of more than 180 million credit cards from companies such as Office Max, Dave & Buster's, and Boston Market. In 2010, the New York Times magazine reported that Albert Gonzalez's attack on a retailer, Jax, was the first in a series of data breaches known as credit card data, dollars from this company by creating a backdoor in the THEX networks with an initial school injection attack. Gonzalez is currently serving 2 20-year prison terms concurrently and is scheduled to be released in 2025. Thank you for watching this video until the end. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to our channel for support.